Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hong Kong Founders Unfiltered. I'm your host, Jason. Today, we're kicking off a brand new series where we spotlight founders who have chosen to set up shop, build businesses, and make a life right here in Hong Kong. Our guest today has a truly fascinating story. He is a world-renowned artist and the founder of Dantatsu Creative Agency. So in today's episode, you're going to learn how to become a creative director, how to get hired in a creative industry, and also what it's like to set up business in Hong Kong from overseas. He's originally from Turkey and now based in Hong Kong. We're very excited to dive into his journey. Let's welcome Sean.
Welcome.
Ready? Let's get started. To kick things off, can you tell us a little about yourself and the agency and the work you do at Dantatsu?
Yeah, sure. My name is Can, and I'm a creative director, paint artist, and commercial director. What I do at the agency, as a chief creative officer, I'm responsible with the creative directors in regional offices in London, Dubai, Istanbul, Zurich, Bali, and Ankara. These are the responsible offices. But in Hong Kong, there is a big difference, which is very exciting for me. The reason is here I'm also the creative director. It's the only office that I work as a creative director is Hong Kong, which is very exciting because sometimes you really miss the operational stuff while you're training a campaign. That's what I missed before I moved to here. So this is what I do. And as a chief creative officer or a creative director, what do we do? We mostly make decisions about projects, the campaigns, the videos. This is the main responsibility of a creative director.
You're both a founder and a contemporary artist. How do these two identities influence?
I think for me, art is the 50% of my life. I'm really so passionate about anything related to visual art. So in art, you try to provoke the audience. You try to make them think, make them hate, make them love. You try to be more provocative. So I think this is so much helping me while I'm creating engaging campaigns all around the world because art is teaching you how to be brave, and which is, I think, very, very advantageous. So when you create something new, when you push yourself, or when you try to think out of the box, which art helps you to do that, then you create more engaging projects.
What was your very first impression of Hong Kong, and how has that perception changed how you live and work?
Actually, Hong Kong, I love Asia in general. That was always my dream. When I first visited Asia 20 years ago, I decided to live in here. But of course, when I say Asia, it was not Hong Kong. It was more like Bali or Thailand or, some other location. But when I first come here, I really love the city so much. I like the energy. I like the vibe, the people. I found it so interesting, but also not just for life, but also for doing business. It's not like the other Asian countries or Asian cities. It's very easy to do business here, which is also, I'm a creative director, but on the other side, I'm a businessman. So doing business right and fast, I think is very, very important. That's why I love it so much to be in Asia, but also can do business well. In addition to that, I'm not going to lie, tax is also a very important thing because tax is very low and the system is very simple. So which is also a big plus for Hong Kong for me.
What's the best thing about living in Hong Kong?
Big city, but also a small city. Best thing about Hong Kong.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything you dislike about Hong Kong?
I think the weather, especially during the summer, the humidity is horrible.
Okay.
Very direct.
Understand, yeah. It goes up and down here. Do you have a favorite happy hour place here in Hong Kong that you go often?
Corks, Tycoon. Tycoon is also a good option, yeah.
Let's talk about the life in Hong Kong. Why did you pick up Hong Kong to set up your agency?
We decided to expand our agency, and I always try to do the opposite in life. This is, I think, kind of character issue. So while everyone expanding to US or Europe, I decided to be in Asia. Then my youngest brother posted Hong Kong as a consul general in the consulate. So instead of going to Singapore, my brother is in Hong Kong, so there is no difference for me between Singapore or Hong Kong. Then I made a decision to be here. I think that was the best decision we made because we are closer to China, which I always believe in China in terms of business. And we are like a hub for APEC countries. The tax is low, but also life is fun. So I like enjoying my life. That's why I'm so happy that I'm not in Singapore, but in Hong Kong, because the life is more energetic here.
Both in work and culture and the lifestyle here, how do you like that? Do you feel the balance in Hong Kong?
I think there is more balance in Hong Kong. Yeah, some people think the opposite. because people are really working so hard here. But also in Istanbul, we work so hard and almost there is no balance between business life and social life. Here, I found a little bit more balance. But as a working culture, what I really love about Hong Kong is people are really dedicated to their jobs. In advertising, it's not very easy to find because you are working with the designers, the visual producers, creators, so their time frame is so different. I mean, their mentality works in a different way, so managing them is not very easy all the time. But here, even you are working with a visual team, design team, or a video team, or whatever, they are more disciplined, which is very, very good, and very surprising, actually. Of course, not like finance or the other industries, but still, if you compare with our other cities, like in London, Zurich, or Istanbul, I think is more dedicated and more disciplined. They come in the right time, they live in the right time, so this is very unique for our industry.
I've noticed you have worked in different countries. Are there like big difference in doing business here in Hong Kong and other Western countries?
There are similarities and differences, but I think personally for me the biggest difference is the written language barrier, not the spoken one, because of the Chinese symbols, because for me it's impossible to understand. Yeah, now I do, but I mean, in the past it was really a big challenge. And I like copywriting, not just designing or videography, but I also like copywriting, so it's the biggest challenge for me. On the other hand, yeah, I mean, there are more similarities than differences, I can say so, because Hong Kong is a very Western kind of Asian city.
You're originally from Turkey. What other countries have you done business in?
I mean, we have offices in London, Zurich, Dubai, Bali, Hong Kong, and Istanbul. So, I mean, almost I work for any of them. So, except Zurich. I mean, my brother is my business partner, and he's mostly responsible with the Zurich office. But for the other offices, yes, I worked a lot.
Would you say Hong Kong is currently your favorite place to do business in?
That's right. I mean, I love Hong Kong. Maybe that's why. Maybe not just because of business, but also because I love living here. But yes, I think it's not the biggest market because it's a smaller city. So, but when it comes to doing business, I love it being here. Even in my own industry, it's the most challenging one.
Gene, thank you so much for sharing with us today. Let's get started on your marketing landscape. I want to ask, how do you tell when a campaign feels real versus just following trends?
I think sincerity is the key word here. It helps you to create a refined campaign. Which is simple. You need to also have a courage to do that. And finding the simple idea, I think, is the hardest thing to do.
So with sincerity, did you learn with sincerity how to connect with Hong Kong consumers?
Thanks to US, because the consumers are look-alike each other all around the world, because the products and services are similar to each other. But on the other hand, I think sincerity as a word, I didn't pick it in the first hand to say so. But I mean, I think in Hong Kong, the people are looking more for sincerity, which is very good. So they want to understand what they are being promoted. They want to trust. Trust is very important in Hong Kong culture. That's why networking is very important. The only thing I can say in a negative way, not for the consumer, but for the ads in general, there are too many messages on them. Too many messages. Sometimes it's so hard to catch the real message, especially when you're an MTR. I mean, you see everywhere the tags, the messages. I mean, it's kind of a little bit sometimes very crowded. And I also like the Chinese symbols, which is super exciting for me as a foreigner. I love using them. They really look so cool. And on the other hand, I'm also to discover the language more. And I try to create my own Cantonese and Mandarin taglines, which is very challenging for me, but also very exciting. And I like the challenge.
You mentioned your team. As a foreign founder here in Hong Kong, do you manage people with different backgrounds in your company?
Usually, the two type of employees we have in anywhere. I mean, one is the visual team. We call them art team, whether they are videographers or photographers or designers. Maybe we can count the copywriters inside because they're also inside the art team. Not the visual part, but I mean art team. The other part is more like the marketing and communication team. These two teams are always very different than each other. They don't like each other, by the way. But managing them, I think after all these years, for me, I have the talent to do that. But I mean, I don't want to say it's easy because especially managing the art teams are sometimes really pain in the back. So they are so different than the other teams. For example, when you talk with an account executive, she directly understands you. She is so more, or he is more business focused. But on the other hand, the designer is chilling. I mean, he has something completely different in his mind. So, but combining them together and managing them, it's not easy, but I think I got used to it.
Thank you for telling us the team. I also want to ask, when you're hiring, what qualities do you look for? Like qualities or backgrounds?
I mean, of course, as an agency, it's very generic to say creative in our industries is one of the most valuable skills to have. But I mean, from my point of view, I like pioneers who have the courage to challenge with the ideas, who have the courage to do something different, who are crazier than the others.
So every founder's hit a wall at some point. Did you ever, in your experience in Hong Kong, hit like the biggest challenge you have faced so far?
Actually, my biggest challenge is networking. But my real personal challenge is the replies. When you call someone or when you send an email, you never get a reply. It's my biggest challenge in Hong Kong. Even if it's yes or no, I mean, you're expecting a reply, but you never get a reply. Reply in Hong Kong. But that also taught me so many things, actually. Because in my first year, I was thinking that, oh my God, I think I'm doing something wrong. They are not replying. But then I got used to it. And now I'm sending an email or message nonstop.
So from that challenge, the lesson learned, you were saying, what lessons did you learn from that challenge?
Insisting.
Instinct.
Yeah, I mean, insisting. I mean, I kept sending back messages. That's usually I don't do that.
Sean, I want you to be honest. I need you to be honest on this one. What was your biggest mistake during your journey as an entrepreneur?
Actually, I made many mistakes during my business life. When I look backwards, I always thought that I was really good at creating ideas, creating good business, but I was always so bad at finances. I was spending so much money. So that was my biggest mistake. I think every entrepreneur, even if they're so creative, even if they're finding so many good ideas, I think they also need to be very good at their own finance and accounting. They need to know how to keep the balance between investing and spending your own money. So I think that needs to be learned. So being an entrepreneur is not always making money. Sometimes you lose it and you need to accept that because your mistakes also helping you not to do them again.
Thank you for sharing your acceptance on that. What is the best piece of business advice that you have ever received and who gave it to you?
My father always telling me that you make money and make friends till 40. I think it's right. And he was always telling me that make your money till 40, make your friends till 40, then start spending them. The second thing is from my first director when I was at the college, it was my first year and I was working and I was selling good. It was a sales business. For 6 consecutive months, I was a top seller inside the company as a part-time seller, of course, because I was also a student. Then they posted a position, but they didn't hire me for that position. I really got so frustrated because I was selling so much and I didn't understand why they didn't offer that position to me. Then I knocked the door of the director and I said that, look, I'm selling very good. I mean, our business is selling here. So I'm one of the top dealers. So why didn't you ask me? He said that, okay, you are selling so good and I'm paying you for that, but you are not creating extra value. That was one of the biggest lessons I learned in my business life. So creating value in addition to your business, I think is making you different than the others.
So if you were to give an advice to new aspiring founders, what would that advice be?
So find a good idea, think differently, and work hard.
Could you tell us, like, what are the qualities to become an entrepreneur?
Sacrifice. If you're an entrepreneur, there is no balance between your private life and your business life. It's impossible. I mean, the last time I really had a vacation more than a week, I think it was around 20 years ago or something like that. So, because even if I go somewhere, I find myself doing something else. But if you love what you are doing, you don't feel it like this. Because sometimes people don't understand you. Oh my God, you are a workaholic. No, I'm not a workaholic. I love my job.
Thank you, Sean. Did you hear that?
Thank you.
Sacrifice. If someone wants to get into the creative industry, what is your advice to them?
They need to work hard. They need to see various different type of visual art because art is the only thing that can improve your skills. They need to create more.
Let's get into your artistic identity and projects. I'd have some questions. You describe your paintings to express deep inner work of the spirit. Can you share a piece that especially transformed to you?
Never ask a question to artists like that. Is really sometimes challenging to manifest your art. Constructed realism, it represents the different layers. So what I do is very provocative, push the other side to say wow or sometimes hate it, sometimes like it. I mean, it's almost like a hate and love story. Discover the layers within the human being. And I was using dark matter, what I call as like a subject. So, and how we are surrounded by it. The next exhibition is going to be so different than that. It's going to be more colorful, more multimedia oriented.
When you're creating your artwork, does your emotions play in? Like, does it affect like how thick the line is, the colors, size?
Yeah. Creating something, whether it's a book or a painting or a movie or whatever you do as an art form, because emotions are letting us to create something, but you need to try to find the roots of it.
If you could leave one message for future generations through your artwork, what would it be?
I think the best word to describe that for me, for the others, I think always try to be scandalous. Try to create a positive scandal.
Thank you for sharing with us how your emotions can turn into your art. I want to find out, you have an upcoming project called Dark Matters. Could you share with us about that?
Dark matter. What is dark matter? Dark matter is everywhere. So, and it surrounds us physically. So, but also it creates a void inside of us. So this is what I'm trying to discover.
Gene, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. It's been incredible hearing how you blended your artistic background with Hong Kong's business world to build something unique. Before we wrap things up, where can your listeners find you online and learn more about the Dantatsu Creative Agency?
They can check our website, dantatsu.co, and also they can check our social platforms like Dantatsu Agency on Instagram, Dantatsu Agency in Red Note, Shongshu. I don't know if I say it right or wrong. And our YouTube channel, Dantatsu TV.
Great. To everyone listening, thank you for tuning to Hong Kong Founders Unfiltered. To everyone listening, thank you for tuning into Hong Kong Founders Unfiltered. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave us a review, and stay tuned for our next episode as we continue to interview the incredible minds in the city.